Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we are taking a look at some incredible spice, Shadow Mewtwo and Shadow Mamoswine in the Great League. You heard that right. Despite Master League being available currently, today, thanks to a submission by a viewer, we are bringing the Master League to the Great League. The team consists of Shadow Mamoswine on the lead, with Registeel and Shadow Mewtwo in the back. This is definitely a team for fun rather than for climbing, but buckle up, because these are some incredibly fun battles. Hopping to the first match, switching Shadow Mamoswine into Lantern. You really have to hope that the Lantern is running Spark, which thank goodness they are. They farm up and then they save switch into Venusaur. This is still a pretty nice matchup for Mamoswine with that 2 Powder Snow advantage. They're able to grab the shield, and then in comes Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo charges insanely quickly, able to reach the Side Strike, and that should pressure shield number 2, because this Venusaur has a lot of energy and they don't want to get taken out. Shadow Mewtwo will commit that first shield. Venusaur able to reach a second charge move. Shadow Mewtwo is going to need to shield up. But the question is, are they going to be able to farm down here? This is going to be incredibly close. Can they? Yes, they can. They're able to farm down. Back in comes the Lantern. But this Shadow Mewtwo is loaded. One Side Strike does so much damage to Lantern. Able to reach Side Strike number 2. Mewtwo on an absolute rampage. And the question is, what do they have in the back? And it is Roserade. Honestly, Roserade is a very scary Pokemon to see here, because both the remaining Pokemon take super effective damage from fire. They bring in Mamoswine to force Roserade to throw energy right away, and then it's all up to Registeel. Unfortunately, Registeel can only hit for resisted damage here, but on the bright side, Roserade in the Great League is exceedingly glassy, so this Zap Cannon should just about take it out. Going for the Zap Cannon, Roserade barely holds on, but they should get lock-on farm down. Roserade going for another Weather Ball. That's not going to be enough to take out the Registeel. Registeel able to lock on down, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, shooting Shadow Mamoswine into Venusaur. Both parties doing super effective damage in this matchup, but look at the damage that Vine Whips are doing to Shadow Mamoswine. Oh my goodness, it is frail. Very nice catch onto Registeel, but then Registeel is met with Talonflame. Despite Zap Cannon, this is still a very poor matchup for Registeel. Registeel able to fire back with the Zap Cannon, but Talonflame commits a shield, and they're at the back-to-back. No sense in shielding the Registeel. You just have to let the Registeel go down, and with an Ice type on the lead, you kind of have to bring in Shadow Mewtwo. But Shadow Mewtwo does not take fast move pressure particularly well. Shielding up the Flame Charge, will be able to outpace easily, reach the Side Strike, and this should be doing more than enough to take out the Talonflame, but Talonflame commits the shield, aggressive swap back into Mamoswine, going for the Avalanche. This is only neutral damage, but Shadow Mamoswine hits like a truck, takes out the Talonflame. Back in comes Venusaur. Venusaur is not going to be winning that CMP tie. Mamoswine going for the Avalanche, able to take out Venusaur. The final Pokemon in the back, no, it's Umbreon. That is absolutely tragic, because Umbreon's going to be able to farm down here. That Avalanche does insane damage, but this is not Side Strike range, and Umbreon is going to be able to outpace the Mewtwo before Mewtwo is able to reach the Focus Blast. So even though fighting back from a very difficult lead, not quite able to get the win. Hopping to the next match, leading Shadow Mamoswine into Umbreon. Definitely nice to see Umbreon on the lead as opposed to on the Mewtwo, but they actually decide to save switch into the Registeel, and even better, the opponent's Umbreon is not swapping out. This is a very nice matchup for Registeel, so the opponent staying in, honestly, best case scenario. This Focus Blast is going to be doing massive damage onto the Umbreon, and then even though Umbreon outpaces, it just can't compete with the damage output of Registeel in this matchup. Going for the foul play, but Registeel farming up, going for the Zap Cannon, so they are anticipating that the Umbreon will shield, which they do, and now they're able to get that guaranteed attack drop. Very nice read, recognizing that the opponent was probably going to shield, and now with that attack drop, easily able to survive the foul play. they're actually going to let it go. They are saving shields, and honestly, you can probably get a nice farm with Mamoswine here. In comes the Shadow Mamoswine, going for the farm down, able to get it, and Shadow Mamoswine has a massive energy lead, but unfortunately, it is Azumarill in the back, so in comes Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo going for the Psy Strike, that does massive damage onto the Azumarill, and with a shield advantage, Shadow Mewtwo is incredibly deadly. Azu goes for the play rough. Shadow Mewtwo over-farming all the way to back-to-back Psy Strikes, so even if the Azumarill shields, it is instantly dead. Azu shields, Azu's gonna be going down, and the question is, what does the opponent have in the back? This Mamoswine is absolutely loaded. It's Clefable, but Mamoswine has that Avalanche ready, and I am excited to see how much damage this does. Avalanche almost one-shots Clefable, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, sending Shadow Mamoswine into Superior. Similarly to last time, both sides hitting each other for super effective damage. Opponent save switches into Lucario, and instead of swapping out, the Shadow Mamoswine stays in to go for an Avalanche, but they pay a heavy price as almost all of their HP is taken from those few counters. You have to respect the Shadow Ball here. Lucario does go for the Shadow Ball, and now Shadow Mewtwo going to be able to double up on Psy Strikes, so if the Lucario shields, they're going to be taken out as well. They shield, it's CMP, this should just be a power-up punch, right? It is the power-up punch, but Shadow Mewtwo is so glassy that even a power-up punch does significant damage, as the Psy Strike is able to take them out. Superior able to farm down, and now it's one shield Registeel versus the world. You don't shield a thing here, everything is going to be resisted. Opponent going for the Leaf Tornadoes, hoping for that attack drop. It's a 50% chance, so this is going to be tough. They go for Leaf Tornado number 2. They still don't get the attack drop, which is very nice. And now Registeel going for the Focus Blast. Focus Blast will not KO, but it will get that Superior quite low. Superior not giving up. They are trying for that attack debuff. Going for Leaf Tornado number 3. They finally get the attack debuff. Registeel able to farm down, but they're debuffed. And the final Pokemon in the back is Azumarill. Azumarill able to farm down the Mamoswine, but after resetting the debuff, Registeel is ready to unleash the damage. Able to land the Zap Cannon, and now Registeel just has to get to a second charge move. Going to commit the shield. Azu going for the Ice Beam bait. Can they reach the Hydro Pump? They are not going to be able to, as Registeel able to reach the second Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon taking care of the Azumarill, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Shadow Mamoswine into Unova Stunfisk. This is a fantastic lead. Opponent is actually staying in. They bank a move, and then they save switch Skarmory, able to bank a Bulldoze on the Mamoswine, and then in comes Registeel. This has always been a great matchup for Registeel, but made even better with the addition of Zap Cannon. Opponent goes for the Brave Bird, lowering their own defense, so now Registeel only has to go for the Focus Blast to get the KO. Back in comes Unova Stunfisk, but Unova Stunfisk had a pretty big energy lead, so they should be able to reach 2 Mud Bombs before Registeel is able to reach that second Focus Blast. That's totally fine, you can just let the Registeel go down, because you have a ton of stored energy on the Mamoswine. Back in comes Mamoswine, Mamoswine going for the Avalanche, and this will be grabbing a shield. The opponent actually lets it through, it fully takes out Ufisk, but the troubles are not over as there's a Sableye in the back. Going for the Avalanche, but I bet Shadow Mewtwo absolutely melts to Shadow Claws from Sableye, so things are not necessarily looking good. Shielding up the foul play, farming up as much as they can on the Mamoswine, but if this Sableye shields, which I'm confident they will, then you have to bring in Shadow Mewtwo. Look at the Shadow Claw damage! Oh my goodness! But Shadow Mewtwo going for the resisted Psy Strike. Psy Strike almost able to take out the Sableye. Going to commit the shield. Can they Psycho cut down the Sableye? This is going to be close. They cannot. Sableye reaches a move. The question is, can Mamoswine survive a Shadow Claw? Come on, Mamoswine. It cannot. And that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, sending Shadow Mamoswine into Skarmory. Pretty decent lead overall. Mamoswine is going to outpace here, which is very nice. Opponent farms up, safe switches into Jellicent. Mamoswine banks a bunch of energy, and then they bring in Registeel. This used to be a pretty poor matchup, but thanks to Zap Cannon, Registeel now has a very, very nice matchup versus Jellicent. Tanks the first Shadow Ball, no problem. Goes for the Zap Cannon, grabs the shield, and gets that guaranteed attack drop. That attack drop is incredibly useful in this match because that means Registeel doesn't have to shield the second Shadow Ball either. And if this Jellicent wants to stay alive, they're going to have to commit the second shield as well. And there's nothing that Shadow Glassy Pokemon like more than a 2-0 shield advantage. So letting the Registeel go down, opponent Ice Beams for some reason, and now in comes Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo farming up until just before they reach another move, going for the Psy Strike. Psy Strike will take them out. Skarmory, I'm expecting will come back in. Aggressive swap back into the Mamoswine. Mamoswine is going to go for the Avalanche. Avalanche does massive damage onto Skarmory, and the final Pokemon is revealed to be Defense Deoxys. Unfortunately, these counters are going to absolutely decimate Mamoswine, but not before it does a lot of damage in return with the Avalanche. From here, this is a very straightforward win. Shadow Mewtwo is going to be able to farm up to back-to-back Psy Strikes because Shadow Mewtwo kind of doesn't lose CMP in the Great League unless someone's running an Attack Deoxys or something like that. So you can very safely farm up to the back-to-back Psy Strikes. First one is going to be taking out the Defense Deoxys. Second one, even though it's resisted, more than enough to take out the Skarmory. Shadow Mewtwo with a shield advantage is incredibly deadly, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Shadow Mamoswine into Nidoqueen. This is an incredibly good lead, and on top of that, the Nidoqueen is actually staying in and going for the Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to be resisted, but this is a Shadow Mamoswine, so even resisted moves do quite a bit of damage. Opponent safe switches into Umbreon, and in comes Registeel. Registeel has such a commanding matchup. Going for the Focus Blast. This is going to be doing massive super effective damage onto that Umbreon. And Umbreon, recognizing this is a pretty bad matchup, is not going to commit a shield. Second Foul Play is going to be getting that Registeel to below half health, and they are going to be able to outpace and get to a third. But again, Registeel doesn't have to shield, and it's pretty tough to snarl down a Registeel. So Registeel in a pretty decent spot, actually deciding to go for the Zap Cannon, maybe anticipating a shield, but the opponent does not shield, and then they bring in Walrein. Walrein, recognizing they would not be able to farm down, they decide to go for the Icicle Spear. But this will be interesting. Now you have to bring in the Shadow Mewtwo versus the Walrein, but Shadow Mewtwo is down on energy, and Walrein actually outpaces in this situation. Going for the Psy Strike, able to grab the shield, and this Walrein has farmed up a ton of energy. Going to commit the shield, but Walrein is going to be able to reach a second before Shadow Mewtwo is. Shadow Mewtwo able to sneak through and going to commit the shield, but this is looking a little scary. Shadow Mewtwo farming up as much as they can, going for the Psy Strike. This will grab the second shield from the Walrein, and then do you maybe try and catch? They do not, and the Shadow Mewtwo is going down. So now it is all up to Mamoswine. In comes Mamoswine. Opponent brings in Nidoqueen, over-farming as much as possible, and now going to go for the Avalanche. They are pretty close to the Bulldoze. The question is, does a Bulldoze KO a Walrein? Walrein does have a decent amount of bulk to it, but not enough bulk as Mamoswine able to take it out. Hopping to the final match, leading Shadow Mamoswine into another Nidoqueen. And like last time, this Nidoqueen is actually staying in and going for the Poison Fang. This Poison Fang will do a solid chunk of damage, and then the opponent safe switches into Azumarill. This is a very nice matchup for Registeel, but it definitely depends on what charge moves Azumarill has. Azumarill goes for the Play Rough, meaning odds are they are not running Hydro Pump, which makes this an absolutely dominating matchup for Registeel. Registeel actually grabs a shield with Zap Cannon, which is pretty nice. And here, I'm not shielding a thing until they show me they have Hydro Pump. They go for another Play Rough, meaning, yeah, odds are they do not have Hydro Pump. So this is a very comfortable matchup for Registeel. They actually double shield, bring back in Nidoqueen, but Nidoqueen is going to get absolutely banished by this Avalanche. And back in comes the Azumarill. Unfortunately, there's quite a bit of lag, but the Shadow Mamoswine able to reach the Bulldoze. Bulldoze is going to do massive damage onto that Azu. And now, I think you just bring in the Registeel to force them to throw energy, and then 2-Shield Shadow Mewtwo basically beats the entire meta. They go for the Ice Beam, proving that they do not, in fact, have Hydro Pump. Going for the Focus Blast. This will do enough resisted damage to KO. What's in the back? It is Toucannon. So that is not something you see every day. But oh my goodness, are they going to go for the Focus Blast? Hold on. They are building up for it. They are going for the Focus Blast. This is killing a whole flock of Toucannon. Shadow Mewtwo Focus Blasting that Toucannon. And that is a good game. All in all, some incredibly fun battles, bringing Master League Pokemon into the Great League. As I mentioned, this is definitely more of a team for fun than for climbing, but the amount of success that this trainer had with this spicy of a team is absolutely commendable. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.